cloud, so you guys have that. Whether it is a economic downturn, whatever it is, our businesses should be prepared and ready for whatever catastrophe may occur. And so that means that we have to make sure that the foundation of our business is in place. So before we get started, I am Crystal Mitchell. I'm a business coach, and I am also the Los Angeles Urban League consultant, and I provide entrepreneurial small business training for youth and as well as adult. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I am a certified adult and youth educator for entrepreneurship. In addition to that, I have a podcast called The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. My host is right there. And then I host a podcast on Thursdays as well called Community Briefing. And that's a platform that we bring our community leaders, our stakeholders, our bankers, anyone that is there to provide services for you, the small business owner. We bring them to the table so you can have conversation with them and find out anything you need to know and anything that you've ever wanted to know about how Los Angeles does business. So tune in. You can catch both of those shows on YouTube, and you can also Google me and you'll find that information out. So that's who I am. So let's just get started. So Chase for Business, as Gilbert mentioned to you, one of the things that they did at the very beginning of the pandemic was to make a commitment to the community to provide information, advice, tools, and resources so that our businesses would be able to survive this pandemic and also thrive post-pandemic, which is taking a little while. So as Gilbert was saying, they've partnered with many organizations, as you can see, Black Enterprise, National Minority Supply Development Council, the National Urban League, and USBC in order to bring these resources for you. We want everyone to be able to thrive past this. And so some of the things that myself and my colleague have discovered even before the pandemic was that our businesses were not running at their optimum. And so, of course, when you have holes in the foundation, it's just like any house, right? So if the termites eat through the ground floor, then the whole house gonna come down. And so some of our businesses, that's exactly what happened. The foundation was shaky. What little wood was there, the termites, which we're gonna call COVID, ate through it, and then the house fell down, and some businesses, unfortunately, were shuttered for life. And so we want to make sure those of you that are surviving thus far continues to stay there. So here's a quote from Damon John. Everyone should know who Damon John is. And this is in his book, Power Shift, Transform Any Situation, Close Any Deal, and Achieve Any Outcome. So he says, once I found my why, I was good to go. So each time out, the moment I understood what I was doing and why I was doing it, it was the moment that I was able to make something happen. So my question to you guys, and you can put this in the chat, do you know what your powerful why is? So love to see who I'm talking to and where you guys are. I see we have 20 participants. So let me see, or 17 participants. So hello, everyone there. So can you guys put in the chat, what is your powerful why? Why are you in business? What drives you? What's the passion behind it? So, and don't everyone speak at the same time. I might have a hard time reading it, but do speak. So family and freedom. Anyone else? Matt said family and freedom. Come on, guys, I'm very interactive. Providing engaging entertainment content for the LA community, okay? Continuing to build generational wealth and making my mom proud. I like that reason. Establishing generational wealth. So let me ask this question though, for those of you who are saying continuing to build generational wealth, is that actually when you first said, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur and I'm going to be this, was that really the reason that you started, or was it something personal? Access, transparency, wealth building, and generation. I want to use my good given artistic talent. Oh, David. Yes, David, I know you do. So that no cancer has to go through. That's Miss Rhonda. Creative freedom. There you go. So that's what I wanted to know is, yeah, we want to create generational wealth, but when we first started our businesses, that wasn't what motivated us. We had our own reason. So for me, it was freedom. It was freedom, flexibility. It was, I felt that my purpose on this planet was to serve others, and God gave me the ability to acquire a boatload of information, and I needed somewhere to disseminate it. So he put me in front of people. And that was how I got started. So we all have a personal why. And the reason we ask this is because it's very, very important that you know why you're doing what you do, because when hard times take place in our lives, which they do, you have to have something to draw on. So Rhonda Hobart is a partner of mine as well. And I know that her business and her nonprofit, I know exactly the reason, and I know what drives her to get up every morning, to stay up all night long as she has to, in order to provide the services she does for the cancer survivor community. So you too have to be able to connect to your powerful why. And once you know why you're doing what you do and your purpose for being here, then it doesn't matter what's going on externally. Then now we can actually keep our businesses moving. So many of us during the pandemic, it was an easy pivot for us, because we weren't doing business any differently than we've been doing in the past, than we were doing during the recession, and any other time you had to pivot your business. So we want you guys to be ready for that next event, and to make sure that nothing can stop you from achieving that powerful why. So that's really important. So what we'll cover today is, part one is think like an entrepreneur. Part two is establish a foundation for business growth. And part three is develop agility and resilience. And part four is put people first. And part five is keep pushing. So how many of you feel that you were a natural born entrepreneur? That it's part of your DNA? Ms. Rhonda, okay. I know that to be true. Anyone else? Okay, Lisa. Excellent. And what is it to you guys to think like an entrepreneur? What does that mean to you? Risk taker. Okay, that's cool. Calculated risk taker. That's it, right? Problem solving. Yes. Create my own opportunities. Exactly. So that's what it is to think like an entrepreneur, to be able to look at problems that are existing in our environment, and be able to see an opportunity in that environment, in an opportunity, and then, as Donna said, to be able to create a solution. So let's take COVID for example. There's a lot of problems that has been going on to fill the need for our community, David says. And so how many of us were able to pivot to address some of those problems, or was our businesses positioned so that we actually could create new solutions and create new opportunities for our businesses during that time? because there were some businesses, believe in yourself. Some businesses were able to jump right. They couldn't produce their product or their service as they had been, but what they were able to do, they started producing masks. They started creating new solutions. They started doing a lot of things that they wouldn't have been able to produce before. Yes, David, I'm gonna allow you to speak.
I use my platform to educate and inform others about the importance of getting vaccinated
Mm-hmm.
and staying safe, during the pandemic. And I'm blessed and fortunate that I have a platform, being with the Sentinel, where I have actually an audience and people that I can uh, address and use that platform to be able to do that.
That's awesome. And that's exactly what we look at when we're thinking like an entrepreneur. Can we rise to the moment and create a solution in that moment that can help a problem or pain point in our community? That is a big issue. So right now, making sure that we return to whatever the new norm is going to be is important to all of us. And not only that, but also making sure that all of us are extremely safe for the future. So that's awesome, David. As well, I created the community briefing for that very reason as well, was so that to make sure that during the time of COVID, that our business owners didn't get left, and if there was money being disseminated, we needed to know where it was, not 5 minutes before they shut the doors, but in the very beginning, so we had an opportunity that we could so that we could be part of what was being provided for us. And so many times that is not the case for most of us. Most of the time for us as Black people, we usually find out 10 minutes after it's all shut down. So, and every single day there are new opportunities. So if you're thinking like an entrepreneur, you're able to recognize those, and hopefully you can implement those in your business as it comes up. And maybe there's something that you're already doing that all you need to do is do a shift in your business and make it happen. This afternoon I was late because my niece was flying out, and all of a sudden yesterday the airlines all decided they needed to get this QR code, but what they did is they forgot to tell the passengers. So now the passengers are struggling in order to make this happen. So if I didn't already have a full plate, this would be a great opportunity. Maybe it's to create what do you call it, a Reddit board or a feedback board where you want to find out in the moment what's going on at the airport if you are a traveler and if you need to shift or address. So they're asking for this stamp and this QR code on your COVID testing, and nobody seems to be able to respond unless they're providing you something for 2 to 3 additional $100 that you weren't prepared to spend. So I think that would be excellent business idea. So if any of you are in the transportation business, I just gave you a precious nugget, because it was a madness, and we still haven't got her on a plane, and we had to this is our third time rebooking. So that's an opportunity that I saw as I was going through that madness. And normally we do create business ideas based upon the pain point that we're feeling at that moment. So a good business needs a great leader, and with the right mindset you can be that leader. So you always have to be in the moment thinking, what is out there, how can I make something better, what are the pains that people are feeling right now, and how can my business be able to solve that. And if my business can't do it, maybe I can partner up with somebody else. And that's what business leaders do. So always thinking not just in the present, not linear, but thinking broader and being able to see the bigger picture. So that's what we mean by thinking like an entrepreneur, not just letting opportunities come by and then you don't really see them. And if you do finally recognize it, then you recognize it when it's too late. So your mindset makes a big difference, and your business needs that. So think of your business as there's a flywheel at the center of your business, and in that flywheel, um, it just operates on a big picture, right? So as I said, we have to think of our business as a big as in a big picture. So in a book by Jim Collins, in his book called Good to Great and Turn the Flywheel, business guru Jim Collins talks about the flywheel effect. And so, what is the flywheel effect? Picture a big wheel outside of an old mill. It's heavy, it's hard to turn. Many of the mills and other types of machinery use flywheels to store energy and keep the mechanisms running smoothly. So, the genius of the flywheel is that once you get it turning, you need less energy to keep it going, and it stays in the momentum. So think about your business. Is it in a position where it's a big wheel and everything is working together? And so now you're not exerting a whole lot of energy to make your business happen. And so if something happens, everything is still in the momentum. But if something breaks, it's not going down to shut down your entire business. It just might need some fixing. So as a leader, everything you every problem you solve, or every problem that you solve, is a push on the wheel, right? And so early pushes in the right direction makes it easier to sell your product and service your customers. But if it's something that you're fighting against, that it really just doesn't fit, and you're forcing it to happen because maybe you haven't done your research, or maybe it really isn't a perfect fit for you, but you think it sounds like a great idea, but it really doesn't fit in the moment. So you want to be able to make sure everything is going in the right direction, and you gain momentum that allows you to branch out or try new things, and your businesses become more profitable as well. So some of us, and a lot of businesses operate as it I have clients that their business has not changed one iota. They've been in business for 30 years, and they've been doing the exact same business in the same capacity, and very resistant to change. I cannot tell you um, up until COVID how many businesses really was resistant to expanding and creating a social media platform and a profile. How many businesses did not have websites? How many businesses were not um, didn't have their businesses in Google, so that when people were Googling them, they could actually find them? There was so many businesses that just was resistant to that. And then all of a sudden, here came the pandemic, and voila, we had a problem. And so that's, again, making sure that all of the pieces are working together uh, for the betterment of the business. So there's no single action that takes place that results in success. It's a multiple number of things that are going on in your businesses, functions that are going in your business, that works all together to keep your businesses moving forward, and making sure that there is a solid foundation. So in his book, Jim Collins had another concept that goes well with the flywheel. He called it the hedgehog concept. The basic idea is that if a fox likes to change directions quickly and often, but the hedgehog pursues one big goal at a time, to Collins, the hedgehog represents focus. So the hedgehog knows what it wants and goes toward it, and it's undeterred by distractions, and it keeps moving forward and keep pushing. But how do we do that if we don't happen to have a business plan, or some sort of strategy that we're working toward on a day-to-day basis? Then we can get distracted, right? So we want to make sure that um, our businesses, that is documented, that we've addressed everything possible reasonably that could possibly happen to our business, and then we can stay focused on the goal. And so again, that ties back into our powerful why, and whatever our mission of our business is. But again, we have to revisit those things, because if we created our businesses 10, 15 years ago, uh, it's pretty likely that you're not doing the same business that you were doing 10, 15, 20 years ago. So was that an easy transition, or was that a hard transition for you guys? So love to hear, put it in the chat. Was that easy or difficult for you to continue to move with the flow of what was going on in our world, that could and did affect your business? So can someone put that in the chat room for me? And Donna, I think you had a question. Rhonda said it was easy for her. Yeah, Rhonda, you turned on a dime. Anyone else? Is it easy for you to make a transition in your business? So Lisa says it's definitely a learning curve to transition to an online platform. Ruth says, yes, it was easy for her to make that change. Well, great. You guys are all heading in the right direction. So do you believe you can grow as a person? You have to be aware of changes in you. Yes, David, you are absolutely correct. You are always room for growth. Yes. So a fixed mindset holds people back, and a growth mindset makes things possible. So that's where we are right now. We all are growing as people. We're growing as business owners. We're growing as leaders. Wherever our capacity is, we're all growing right now. And growing sometimes is quite painful. That's the process of it, so that when you get on the other side, I believe is there so that you can appreciate the change. So a growth mindset works. High school students who watched a short presentation on growth mindset signed up for more challenging courses and to improve their grades. So let's ask you guys, during pandemic, after we got over the initial shock of it, what were some of the first things that you did or you felt was part of a growth process for you? Once we got over running to the supermarket and buying up all the toilet paper, once we got over realizing that COVID wasn't going to jump on us, we went to the market. What was if you guys look back over the last year and a half, was a growth moment for you? Donna said she learned how to use Zoom. I think everybody should have that one on there at the top of their list. Anyone else learn some things that really has changed and helped you grow in this last year and a half? I had to change from teaching in person to virtual, okay? Staying flexible and staying open to change, maintaining customers online. Had to hone in on how to do my business fully. Okay. Anything else you learned? So there's 25 people, excluding the 4 of us that are staff, 5 of us. So just put it in the chat, guys. So personal growth can lead to business growth. So when we're growing as people and we're really becoming more centered with ourselves. So one of the things I think a lot of us learned was how to live with ourselves, right? How to settle down in the world, in the previous world, which was before 2019, we were all hustle and bustle and running from this meeting and that meeting and this and that, right? We had to learn how to settle down where we didn't even leave the house for weeks. So what did you learn there? Did you learn some stuff about yourself? Did you learn how to focus yourself so you could work at home and be productive? Have some of your businesses actually grown tenfold since the pandemic? Learn the importance of maintaining relationships and communication. That's a big one, Nicole, because before the pandemic, we were too busy to make those quick phone calls and keep up with each other, right? Samara says share her business, their business has grown since the pandemic. So hopefully we learned how to embrace these challenges. We learned to be persistent in the face of setbacks. We also learned the path to mastering what we do and what we needed to do in order to continue to survive. We learned from criticism. I think we all became a little bit humble in this process, and we start looking for lessons and inspirations from others, right? I think for a while, since we couldn't communicate outside of our household, we had to use social media, Facebook, for inspirational and motivational messages. We use social media in order to reach out to make sure people that we loved and care about was still alive. So these are some personal growths that we took place that also lended to our business growth. And Rhonda says I found that I acquired the only child syndrome. Now I really don't want to work outside of the house. That's a lesson. Some of us don't want to go outside the house. Some of us are quite content operating just as we are. So there's going to be an adjustment when and if we ever return to what is going to be our new normal. So all of this adds up to grit. You got to grit. You got grit already, but I can tell you challenges really help you develop even more grit than you thought you had beforehand. So now it's time to channel all of that, all the stuff that you learned over the last year and a half into really positioning your business for the next level. So here's a poll for you. Which entrepreneur concepts resonate most with you? Supply as many as you want. So finding your why, the fly net, the hedgehog principle, the growth mindset, or grit. Which one of those resonated with you guys the most? The growth mindset. Growth mindset. Yes. I would say that was the silver lining for a lot of us last year. And grit, yeah, I would say that. Cool. Anyone else? So there's actually a workbook that comes along with this course. I don't know, Michael, if you're there, Michael, if you have the or Bonnie, if you guys got the download, and there is actually a workbook there. And if we can put that link, I can get it, but it's going to take me a few minutes. If we can put that link in the chat room, because there's some references to some of the pages in the workbook. And one of them is page 9. It wants you to write out your purpose statement. So you can, and you can use a blank piece of paper if we don't get to that, to the workbook. But if you guys will take a moment, we're going to give you 2 minutes to jot down a purpose statement. And then while we do that, I will look for the book. Oh, Bonnie says she'll take a look and get it to me in a few minutes. So think about your purpose statement. First of all, do you have one? Does anyone here have a purpose statement? Okay. Would you like to share it with us? Is it Shawat? How do you pronounce your name? I think I allowed you to speak. Let me see if I did allow you to speak. No, I didn't. Could you like to share your purpose statement with us? Is it Chawana?
No,
Chawaka?
No, it's Shatwaka.
Okay, thank you, Shatwaka. Beautiful name. So would you mind sharing your purpose statement?
It's a purpose statement that I have for my my cosmetic line.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I put you on the spot, sorry.
So my purpose is to I had it written down. I'm sorry. This is kind of long.
Okay.
So my cosmetic line is created for the everyday woman. And my purpose is to make sure that I'm just doing it verbatim.
That's okay.
Is for me not only to gravitate towards all nationalities when it comes to the line, but also I want to help other entrepreneurs in building their craft, whether young, seasoned, or whatnot. So that's my whole overall purpose. I'm also a licensed educator in hair and cosmetology. So my purpose to myself is to educate young brown and Black girls just to know this business, boys and girls. So that's something that I really take to heart, is because to me in my industry, like, we wasn't taught, oh, you can do, editorial film and things like that, but we only was taught go in a salon, make a, work behind a chair, work for someone. But because I've been blessed with other opportunities, then I give those things out and I tell, other future professionals, this is what you can do in this industry. You don't have to put yourself in a bubble. So that's kind of like, I guess you could say, like, mission.
Okay, that's awesome. So does your mission statement or also support your purpose?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. David says his his purpose is to blaze trails in developing innovative graphics, cartoons, books, and multimedia products that inspire and educate. Donna says hers purpose is to address environmental concerns, going beyond what produces air quality, but to directly addressing the environments that have compromised the physical spaces where marginalized communities live, learn, work, seek medical attention, and shop and have poor social infrastructure. That's awesome. So I think that really keeps us inspired when it comes to doing business, knowing our purpose, and knowing why your business does what it does. My purpose statement is to serve my community with inspiration and knowledge as to and mentor and help them create very successful businesses that can grow and provide for their families, but as well as provide for their community. So that's my purpose, and both for adults and kids. I kind of have two purpose statements. So one for my adult clientele, and then for my young clientele is to inspire them with greatness, that they can be who and whatever they want to, especially if they're Black and brown. And every single day I walk that walk and I talk that talk. And so that really helps inspire me in order to do the things that I do, and also hopefully to do those things very well. And I will, my goal is to receive in heaven my reward. So someone had their hand up and they have a question, and that would be Bonnie.
Yes, I apologize. Can you repeat what you wanted me? By the time I found it, I forgot what you wanted me to look up.
There's in that packet that they sent to us, there was a workbook. And so if you're going to have to download it into Google Drive. Maybe I need to do that, huh? Rhonda, can you?
Don't put me on blast.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Let's see. Put me to the test.
Yeah, Crystal, Bonnie, all the participants who signed up for the webinar will receive a email afterwards with with any and all resources.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
I appreciate it. That's what
for
teams
saving
do.
Me.
That's what teams do. So understanding our purpose and understanding the mission and how does our business do what it does. So our purpose is understanding why our business does what it does. And our mission is how does your business do what it does. So when you define that, then it helps you stay in line and stay focused with your business. So in the workbook, when you guys do get it, it got a place where you can, if you haven't designed your mission purpose statement, then you can put that there as well. And then and the same thing for your mission statement and your vision statement. Now, many of you have probably been in business for many years, so you have one. But have you gone back to look at it? So let's say you guys wrote that business plan 10, 15 years ago. Have you gone back to look at it and see if there's been any changes? So now there's been some major occurrences that have gone in with our businesses. There's been some, if we've been in business over 30 years, I know my business has changed. I'm on version 4.5 right now. So so there are certain things that I'm not doing that I was doing in the early part of my business, and I had to go back and look at my mission statement. So if maybe you need to, if you have one, have you gone back to make sure it's applicable for today, for the today? And so Donna's mission is to train, identify health solutions, advocate and partner marginalized communities with scalable, sustainable solutions and necessary resources that will enable people to create clean, healthy, and safe environments for themselves. Beautiful mission statement. And so from every now and then, we have to go back and visit. So of course, we all know that the mission statement is for the people out in the world. That's for our consumers. That's for anyone that's looking in at us. Then next is your vision statement. So that vision statement is, what big change do you want your business to spark? Right. So again, we're in a really great time right now because some of us could really redesign and redo and recreate new spaces and new visions for our business. And I hope in our vision statement now, we're all incorporating to do business globally, because that's what the internet and online platforms allow us to do, is to do business globally. And as you can see, just from the pandemic, what happens in one country has a domino effect for all countries. So we're already there. So you're capturing your vision or incorporating into your vision is how can you expand your business globally? So I'm going to ask that question of you guys. Has anyone, are you doing global business? Or have you thought about doing global business? And even global business can help our communities, because we're expanding our revenue base, which then can help us provide more resources for the people in our communities, the people at home. So if you have not thought about that, really research your industry and look at expanding on a global basis. The Business Zone service expand nationally be a television show sharing health and wellness information. Yes, Rhonda, podcasting and television shows and creating content and blogs and things like that really open up a whole new world. One of the best things that we did, Gilbert and I, was to create the Business Zone, and our show is actually watched all over the world. And you can see that with the analytics that the social media platforms allows for you to have. Sometimes I'm actually absolutely shocked at some of the people in some of the countries that are actually watching our shows. So David says, I revive my business plan frequently depending on opportunities and how the world is changing. I do some global business by licensing my images and cartoons internationally. And if you guys don't know who David G. Brown is, you need to Google him, go to his LinkedIn. He's a political cartoonist. Absolutely phenomenal. And that's just a portion of what he does, but he also teaches and works with the youth. He's an incredible and a very talented man. He's learned to take his art and deliver messages with his art and get paid for that. So Google him. And I hope you guys are all going to network. So I'm going to ask you when we get to the end, closer to the end, to make sure you share your contact information so that you guys can reach out to each other. Every time you attend a webinar, seminar, webcast, whatever it is a great opportunity to network. So tips for writing your purpose, mission, and vision statement. So get it on paper. Focus on big ideas, evoke emotion, imagine the future, and be concise, and get input from your you're welcome, David. Get input from your customers. That's a great way to reach out to find out where they are and what you need to do to service them. So get some input from them. That's important. What about profit? So this is big. My partner and friend, Miss Rhonda, says the chief purpose for it, as we tell the children, she starts her classes out this way, is what is the purpose of an entrepreneur with their customers? What is your sole purpose? Ms. Rhonda, would you like to tell them? To get money out of their pocket and into yours. So that's her mantra. And how do you make money? Well, how do you make a profit? Have we gone back to revise to look at our pricing to make sure that even within a pandemic that there is a good profit there that will keep your business moving forward? So we talked about big ideas, but where does profit fit in there? So your vision isn't possible without making a profit. Profitability fuels the growth. Profit can help you focus on what matters. So as Ms. Rhonda says, your vision and your purpose is to get their money out of their pockets and into yours, because that's what's going to really help your business grow. And there's some other individuals that have told me that make no mistake, and that we're in business to make money. We have to love what we do, but we are in business to make money. So that's really, really important, is making sure that your business is positioned to increase revenue. And my mantra is, how many revenue streams can your business, do you have incorporated in your business? No one should have one revenue stream. Can anyone tell me why you shouldn't have one revenue stream? You should have more than one revenue stream. A good friend of mine, and some of you may know her, is Dr. Rosie Milligan. She says that she has a revenue stream for every bill or every financial obligation that she has. And during COVID, it was a good time, especially if you did business with live and living customers, you could no longer see your live and living customers. You also, if your products were imported from another country, your products sat for a very long time in San Pedro at the dock, and you couldn't get that. So then we had to create other revenue streams that it could be digital, that you could provide products and services, or definitely services, online, and people would pay you. So making sure you have multiple revenue streams, membership, subscriptions, affiliate partnering, is a number of ways to generate revenue streams, and also having several under the umbrella of whatever it is that you do, to have multiple streams coming in of how you get paid. But there's no one source. There should be multiple sources. So if one dry up, then you can focus on the other. So one of the things that is really important, I think, and I don't know how many of you do this, is to do a retrospect of yourself and your business. So a lot of us in business, we tend to focus on, or we should be focusing on, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, what are the opportunities, and what are the threats that potentially could be on the horizon. For us, I do it for both. I do it both for business and I do it for personal, because if something happens to us personally and as solopreneurs, then does your business stop, right? If you got COVID, in a mild case, because you're still with us, but where is your business able to continue on without you? So that's being able to duplicate our business, or our business to continue to operate, whether we're at the helm or not. But also understanding what are our strengths. What are your strengths? Do you guys do a introspection at the beginning of the year? You know, when we do our what do you call those? New Year resolutions. I don't do New Year's resolutions. What I do is I look at my strengths. What have I gained? And what are the new potentials that are on the horizon for me in the new year? I also look at what are some of the weaknesses that may have appeared during the past year, and how do I strengthen them, and what do I need to do? What resources do I need to shore them up for the next time? A lot of us found that we had weaknesses during the pandemic. So have you actually addressed those weaknesses and created solutions to make sure that those particular weaknesses will not reappear? And then we just talked about what opportunities, and also, do you guys know what other threats could be potentially on the horizon? So in the workbook that you're going to receive, that Mike is going to provide for you, there's a template on page 13 of that workbook, and it's a SWOT analysis. So I'm going to ask you to do that SWOT analysis, not just for your business, and it's very important for your business as well, but I'm going to say start with you personally and then work up to your business. Okay? We all there? How you guys doing? Show of hands. Okay. So part 2, establishing a foundation for business growth. Really, really important. Business structure is important. One, knowing what liabilities that are there, understanding how flexible you and your business is, the controls of what is going on in our business, making sure, again, like with the flywheel, everything is kind of working together. And then, do you need funding for your business? Is that one of the weaknesses you have? Are you positioning your business to grow, but great. But are you loan ready? Do you have all the pieces in place that would make you loan ready? That a bank, you can go to a bank, preferably one you have a relationship with, and you can say, hey, I need capital for whatever. Are you loan ready? So I'm going to ask everyone, are you loan ready? Or are there some things that you need to do to fix a couple of the weaknesses that you may have? And that's not a rhetorical question, that's a real question. And do you know what it means to be loan ready? I guess that's actually the first question. Okay, so Donna said that's huge right now. So one of the silver linings that took place during COVID was the fact that they didn't really ask for a whole lot, but there was funding. I need to know what the intels are. There was funding available for you, and a lot of the requirements were loosened. And so a lot of people were able to get the EIDL loan, which was a very low percentage loan or low point loan. And they didn't ask for much. They just asked that you could show your 2-year, not even 3 years, because that's usually what they ask for, 2-year tax returns. And I don't even know, maybe some of them asked for your personal income statement. I don't think too many of them did. They also asked that you have a profit and loss statement. And so that was just the beginning, but there's quite a bit more that's involved when the banks are looking for credit worthiness and loan worthiness clients, because banks are looking to get their money back. They don't like your warm and fuzzy. They don't really care about your why. They just want to know, am I going to get my money back? So some of those entails is making sure that your tax returns are done properly and that they show that you made a profit. So a lot of times we go to the bank, we go to our tax person and we tell our tax person, hey, I don't want to pay any taxes. So they're going to do exactly what you asked them to do. But then to do that, they have to reduce the amount of revenue and amount of income that you brought in. So now it looks like you didn't make any money. So when the bank looks at those statements, the tax returns, they're like, we can't give you a loan. You don't make any money. We can't get paid. So those are some of the things that you need to know as far as the funding. So are you loan ready? The liability of the structure is, what is your business structure? Are you still a sole prop? So there's a lot of liability that goes with being a sole prop. So a sole prop is having a sole proprietorship. It means you're a single owner. It's simple. It's low cost to set up. Probably hardly any cost other than your business license and your fictitious business statement. You have complete control, but you also absorb all of the personal liability. So if someone wanted to sue you, they could attach your personal assets. So maybe it's time to rethink what your structure is. And most of you pay payroll taxes, but can deduct the expenses. So that's the business structure, is making sure from a liability point that you've protected yourself and your personal assets. Are you a partnership? Are there multiple owners? This too is a simple and easy and low cost setup. You have shared control with your partners. The partners personally are liable. You must pay payroll taxes, but cannot deduct the expenses. But make sure in that partnership, if there's multiple partners, that you've really looked at that partnership agreement, because a partnership is like a marriage. And so when it's time that the marriage may dissolve, you want to make sure that you guys don't lose your friendship in that partnership. You want to make sure everything is listed out and understood by both partners. David, did you have a question? Or was that some time ago? Okay. Corporation. So a corporation, a C Corp, can have multiple shareholders. Setup can be complex and will require some help of professionals, preferably attorneys, and a board of director that helps control the business of the company. Owners are not personally liable, but there is potential for double taxation. So again, you want to make sure you speak to an attorney about that. But this is maybe in the S Corp is the same thing, pretty much the same dynamics. Corporate taxes and profits passed through as distributions. And the next one is a limited liability company, which a lot of people have, LLCs, and can participate. The owners protected from liability. There's no limit on your shareholders, earnings passed on to the owners as well. From what I understand is this is probably a good time to set up your corporations, because I understand that they're waiving the $800 tax fee that the state of California implements at the beginning of the year in January. But if you did your partnership, or if you did your incorporation in 2021, and as well as for 2022, they are going to waive that $800. So if this is something that you've been wanting to do, but we're really concerned about the tax that would be due in January, this might be a good time. But again, I highly suggest you speak with a legal professional to make sure that you set up the right structure for your business. Okay. B Corps, any business structure can be certified as a B Corp. Certification is a public commitment to do good for people, communities, and the environment. Mr. Gilbert Buchanan is a specialty in that area. So Gilbert, if you're still there and you have any input, you please share. So if you look at the chart in the workbook, when you actually receive it, there is a link there, and it talks about what structure is best for your business. Not all structures are best for all businesses. So once again, you want to do your homework to make sure it fits. So there's two people you would probably speak with: your attorney, as well as the person, your CPA, your accountant, and your tax preparer professional, to make sure that you're doing the right thing for your business. So take a close look at your businesses and the structure, and make sure that moving forward, we want to make sure our goal is to that the foundation is strong. And so this is part of that strong foundation, making sure we're doing what we need to grow our business to the next level. So let's look at operations. So one of the things I think was a silver lining, some of the stuff that we had been doing pre-COVID wasn't quite streamlined. So during COVID, when we were no longer working in offices, we did a lot of streamlining. So let me ask you guys this question. If you did any streamlining, from how you did business in 2019, how you did business in 2020, and how you're doing business in 2021, what was something that you did that streamlined the operations in your business? Is there anything that you eliminated, or is there anything that you added to help your business move more and run more steady and smoothly? I added on a virtual receptionist, because I had so many moving parts, and so certain moving parts are now automated. Anyone else do any automation? Online payment. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I have online payment as well. Anyone else? Virtual meeting instead of face-to-face. So David, are you going to go back to face-to-face? Or are you good with virtual?
You know, I like face-to-face. I prefer that. But, you know, virtual just saves a whole lot of time and money in terms of just, you know, essentially setting up those meetings. But I prefer face-to-face.
Okay, so Rhonda says she's more productive with virtual. Donna says went from focusing on acquiring a commercial kitchen to a shared kitchen, and then of course online. David, I had to go out last week to an event, and I had to drive to the valley, and it took me an hour, and I thought, and then the day before, I had a meeting that was 10 minutes away from me, and I was late, and I thought, I am never late on virtual meetings. So I kind of like that virtual platform. I just need to walk out of one room into another room. So those are some of the things that became more streamlined. For a lot of us, that if we had to travel a lot, you were always on the go. You were always, and it's not just about the meeting, is navigating through Los Angeles traffic to get to one place to another. So that added on a whole nother hour to being able to facilitate your services. So for me, I'm much more productive doing virtual, because it's just really a matter of looking at my calendar in the morning and just activating. Whereas I got to look at my ways, I got the pre-plan, I got the hour for transportation going, an hour for transportation going up, it burns up a whole lot of time. So I don't know if any rest of you felt that way, but that's how I feel about it. And I didn't have to spend a lot for gas. My gas lasts 6 weeks. So I'm not even fretting over $5 gas a gallon, because I don't fill up but every 6 weeks right now. So these are some of the things you want to think about, is what are some of the how can you streamline your business? And even when we go back, as David says, he likes the face-to-face, but how can we incorporate some of the newfound freedom that we acquired in the last year in our getting back to whatever the norm is? So something to think about. Organization can make a difference. So again, finding the right space, establishing a customer support system. So I just added in, or I'm right now doing some extensive research on creating a CRM or adapting a CRM into my business organizational world. So if you guys haven't thought about that, developing a file storage and sharing system. Mr. Buchanan over there has a program called Small Biz Pro. So it's great for storage, and especially for those of you that are doing contract business. It will give you reminders on expiration dates. So those are some of the things that you can look at is to streamline the business. A lot of us mastered Google Drive, but it has some areas, and so always looking for new tools. I'm a tool person. I'm always looking for new tools to make my business run smoother and easier for me. Managing your book. So if you guys have not learned anything from 2021, is somebody's going to ask you for a financial statement, and if you have an accounting system and it is managed and it is up to date and current, all you have to do is go push a button and generate a profit and loss statement. So, and even for your taxes, it's just a matter of running a report and passing that report on to the person that is doing your taxes. So definitely should be incorporating managing your books. How many people here have an accounting system? It doesn't matter whether it's QuickBooks, where it's Waze, FreshBooks, some sort of system other than an Excel spreadsheet. Okay, Rhonda has. Lisa does. Robert does. Good. Excellent. I have an accountant. And Samir, that's really good. But do you have to track your accountant down, or has he or she taught you how to go into, do you use QuickBooks, Samira? Oh, so whatever the software, can you actually, okay, Denisha says she uses QuickBooks. So Samir, being able to run that financial statement, unless your accountant is really on top of it and they send you a report every month, but it's also good for you to have accessibility and understand what your accountant is doing. Because somebody will ask you something, your accountant may be on vacation or unavailable, and then it's a struggle. So for managing your books requires really understanding how your accounting and the financial structure of your business is structured, and how can you get what you need when you need it to whomever needs it. So scheduling efficiently. Again, I use a scheduling system. I cannot function without my calendar. So I have a scheduler. I think some of you probably adapted that as well. So there's a couple of them out there. And planning for taxes, which means that maybe you have to sit down with your taxes. Oh, thank you, David. David said he uses QuickBooks he learned in one of my classes years ago. Well, that's good. It's good to sit down with your tax person and review what your plans and vision is for your upcoming business year, to do your own budgets, so you'll know what's happening in the next year, and then sit down with your tax person, your CPA, or your preferably your CPA, and plan out your taxes to make sure that you're getting and receiving all of the deductions, and that you're on top of, and that they're on top of whatever the new tax laws are, and they change on a daily basis, annual basis. Finding your roadmap, mapping processes and workflows, so you can start taking inventory of every aspect of your business and the step to complete each activity. So again, it's putting everything on a chart, a SWOT analysis, so to speak, and analyzing your processes. Where do you slow down? Where are the mistakes often made? And then being able to create a solution using that data to qualify where you're falling short and to set goals and track wherever you're meeting those goals. So it's really important. I know in the very beginning when I teach businesses how to young people and adults how to start their businesses, we're really focused on the processes and the steps and the functionalities of all of the components of running a business, which is your business structure, your financial structure, your marketing strategies, your pricing structures, all of those when we first start businesses, then hopefully. And then when we go into actually in business for many years, then we kind of do some shortcutting. So really going back and taking a look at that. So again, in the workbook on page 21, there is a tool that has become very popular. There's a book called The Lean Startup. And there's also a list of great books in this workbook that Chase has provided for you. But the Lean Startup talks about the business model canvas chart, and it goes beyond the operation and helps you see a holistic view of your business. So you'll be able to check that out. I do several classes on the Lean model canvas and how you go about utilizing that in your business, especially if your business has been around for a while, going back and reviewing the 9 components of a business model canvas. So if you look at let me go right back here real quick. If you look at when you get the booklet on page 21, so make a note for yourself, it's going to ask you about the 9 components of a business and how they interlock and they interact with each other. So identifying who you do business with. So those are your partners. What are the activities that you're providing? What are the resources that you need in order to run your business? And then what is your value proposition? What's your sizzle sauce? What are you bringing to the table that your competitors are not bringing to the table? Who are your customers? Have they changed? Do you need to look at a broader marketplace? What are the channels and your distribution channels to get your product to the customer? And that's both products and services, really reviewing them to make sure that they work. And then what are your customer segments? So generally businesses have more than one. And then the next 2 is your cost structure. How much does it cost you to actually run your business leanly? And then finally, what are your revenue streams? If you guys go and do a little Google research on YouTube, some of the biggest, all the companies out there actually do a review using the business model canvas. There's a great one on Uber that's on YouTube. There's an excellent one on Airbnb. Starbucks has an incredible a business model canvas or BMC. So check them out, and then that will help you answer how it will help you figure out how to complete this yourself. Okay, all righty. So you will everyone's going to get an email with the handbook, the workbook, and I assume the PDF of the slides. So part 3 is developing agility and resilience. We've all seen how important it is to build a business that can adapt quickly. And if we didn't know it in 2019, we certainly know it in 2020, and we definitely know it in 2021. So a quick poll. What is your top priority right now for making your business more agile and resilient? And these are your choices: build a bigger cash buffer, secure new capital, improve cybersecurity, find new customers, invest in tools and equipment to meet future needs, and finally, strengthen your business relationships. So can you guys put your answers in the chat room? Find new customers, strengthen business. That's Lisa. Dana wants to find new customers. David wants to strengthen his business relationships. A lot of new customers, invest in tools and equipment. Yes. Improve cybersecurity, find new customers, invest in tools. Oh, you guys are all on this one. All of them for Bree. Strengthen business communities. Okay. All. So, do you have a plan or how you guys are going to do that? So for anyone that said they are going to build bigger cash buffers, what are some of your plans? Bree says she needs help. Some of that's why I'm here. Okay, Shatakawa. All righty. Improve, find new customers. Kind of, sort of. Invest in new tools and equipment. Networking and attending workshops like this opportunity is fantastic, David. That's why we're going to make sure everyone is going to share their contact information so that you guys can at least be able to build and strengthen business relationships. And if you haven't done so, hiring a virtual assistant to do some cold calling. That's good, Denisha. Building a bigger cash buffer. Got a plan on how that's going to happen, Ruth? So basically, I'm asking that for primarily so that you guys can really start to think about it, but not just think about it, actually put some thoughts in on paper and really map it out. Do your research on how you can increase your cash buffer. All right, because that's important. Especially cash. You know, cash flow is the blood of a business. So maybe there's some opportunities, some new services you can provide or product that you can, that won't cost you a lot to create, that can create another revenue stream for you. And then always look at e-commerce. There's a whole, there's a lot of passive income that you can create on your content and your knowledge that will help you create that cash buffer. All righty. So excellent, guys. Good job. 33% of businesses say saving more cash for a buffer is a top priority, and it should be, because if you have some money in the coffers, if a good friend of mine, Tanya Mackey, has a workshop she calls Worthy of Wealth, Women Worthy of Wealth, and she teaches women how to create those cash buffers, how to pay off how to pay off houses, how to invest in products that will increase more revenue or create dividends for you. So this is really, really important for your business. So what do you need to do in order to create to save more cash for a buffer? So that means that everyone should be working on that emergency fund, that 6-month emergency fund, or as a result of COVID, that 1-year emergency fund. What do you need to do that? Investing in technology. The right tools can mean everything. I absolutely love at the beginning of the year searching for new tools that will make my life easier and make my business run smoothly. I get a kick out of learning about new technology, new tools that are out there. And some of them are free, some of them are low cost, some are a little bit more expensive, but it depends on how well they help you be able to keep your business moving forward. So in the workbook, again, on page 23, take an inventory of every technology tool your business uses. I probably will fill up every line on that page. So I challenge you guys. So I don't know how many lines are on that page, but the next time you guys see me, which is another workshop next week, I love to know what your audit of your technology is. And maybe you guys can share, if you guys come back next week on the 11th for part 2 of this series, I would love to know what technologies you are using. And let's see if we can share our technology. So if you don't do any other the work, the pages in the book, let's do 23 in the workbook, and let's share and see if we can get some new tools. Protect your business from cyber threats. So it's huge right now, right? Quite a few things have been going on in this world, but one of them that's really bad is the fact that their hackers are going in and stealing your information, and large companies are very vulnerable to people holding your information a hostage for a cost, for a price. So making sure that you're using the best protection on your computer, if you're whichever that is, Norton 360, whomever, ransomware, whatever it is, make sure you have it incorporated or uploaded and installed on your computer, and keep it up to date. If you don't spend money for any other tool, spend money for that. And if you're a nonprofit, you can go over to you can get some deals at I can't even think of the name of it, but it's you guys can reach out to me. I'll have it for next week. But make sure you have something that protects your business. So cyber security essentials is educate and train, access wherever your vulnerabilities are, pay attention to emails, don't just click emails. Lately, we've been getting all kinds of phone calls, all of those messages, all of those texts that you're getting. If you don't know who they are, yeah, TechSoup, that's it. If you don't know who they are, they're looking to steal your information. So review your payment procedures. Change your password. Make it a little bit more complicated. There's some password savers. I use one called Keepsake, and it keeps all my passwords in one place so I can change them and be creative with them, and so that I can always get back in. And not all the systems have the authority codes, so make sure you put those in place. Don't ignore those updates. Don't ignore them, because they're there to protect your system. Plan for worst case scenario. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your cybersecurity at your business? You guys can put that in the chat. Are you on the low end or are you on the high end? Does it require some work? 6 to 7, 8. Good job, guys. Awesome. So 8, okay. Still a little work to be done, but good. 6, awesome. Okay. Use digital banking. Don't let money walk away from you. So people are not writing checks anymore. So get the apps that are the safe ones, and PayPal, Cash App. I'm not one for Venmo, because the world knows everything. They think it's real cute that everybody knows how much money you send it out. So I don't use Venmo. Zelle. There's some others, Stripe. So look at some apps and online portals. Anywhere you have an internet connection, you can receive your money. Pay your bills quickly and efficiently with automatic payments. Monitor accounts with notifications. Get data on customers and cash flow. Integrate with an accounting software. Okay, so thank you, Charles, for that. Use a credit card to manage your cash flow. I don't know about a credit at the end of each month, but I would be sure that I'm not using a credit card if I can't pay it off at the end of the month. Okay, so really important. Digitize your financial structures. Make sure when you're sending out your invoice, it's really good that the people can pay you back through a link and use their credit card. It really increases the cash flow versus them having it go through a system and they have to write you a check and then have to put it in the mail, and then you got to wait for it. Do you get it all within a day, 1 to 3 days? If you want it immediately, it might cost you a small percentage of a fee, but at least it's in your bank account. Increases your cash flow. Take your business online. Where are your customers? What platforms do they need? How will you take payments? How will you list products and services? Keep your website up to date and current. Some of us have had the same website for years and with the same stale data. Go in there and update it. Make it pretty. Get somebody to redo it for you, or if cash flow is an issue, then there's some systems and tools out there that will walk you through it. All you have to do is just give it the information. So And if you do have the money to hire a good web designer, then by all means do that. People first. We live in a world right now, and we're going to wrap this up in a few minutes. We've got about 5 minutes left. We live in a world today that customer service is out the door. People only do the bare minimum. There's a great book out that I just read called The Difference. A good is not good enough. We have to excel in our businesses. So excellent book. You can find that in Amazon. Assemble a team of doers. Look for work ethics, vision, collaboration, diversity, people who make up for your weaknesses, and people who are hungry to succeed. And if you're not in a position to hire, then partner up with some people and see if you guys can help each other out. Build an attractive workplace if you are still in a brick and mortar. Most people are looking for more than a paycheck, often a workplace that means something to people. So increase is a value to individuals. So make sure that there's a work culture that fits your employees. If you have employees, that fits your life as well. What are your corporate crushes? What's your favorite brand and why? What's a brand that other people like but leaves you cold? So think about that. And if there's a brand that you like, that you like their company culture, you like the way they do business, maybe there's some takeaways for you to incorporate in your business. So compare your business up next to some of the big corporations out there that are very, very successful, and then set some goals and some milestones for yourself. Work with professionals, CPAs, attorneys. These are your team. This is your actual team, guys. So you want to have a CPA, you want to have an attorney, you want bankers. You guys really, truly want a relationship with your banker. If you are putting money in a bank and you have no relationship with them and you go to look for money and they tell you no, that's a bank that needs to be in your rearview mirror. You need to be establishing a relationship with banks. That's how a lot of people got their PPP loans last year, was because the bank called them and say, hey, here's a loan, sign the document, and we're good to go. That's all it took. Make sure you have someone that can help you with IT services and can help you grow your business to do big things. So you can sit down with your bankers and say, hey, this is where I want to be in 5 years. How can you guys help me do that? Your CPA, I need some investors. Can you help me with that? I need to do business with so and so and so. My attorneys, can you help me create a equitable a partnership agreement or a legal agreement? Marketing professionals, if you're not good at social media, don't shortcut here, guys. Everyone should have at least a minimum of a 15% of your annual revenue as a marketing budget. So much more can happen if you're willing to pay for quality. Go to Fiverr. They got a whole network of individuals that can help you if you're cost conscious. So use your social media and connect with people that are influencers to help open doors for you. Ask for introductions. Go to their LinkedIn and see if there's anybody that's friends with you that have some pretty influential friends with that they have, and they can make that introduction. Really, really important. Certify your business. Diverse-owned businesses can tap into a network of opportunities in the corporate supply chain. It takes years to get that level. That's why you must start now. And then finally, keep pushing. Update your business plan, update your executive summary, reconsider your competitive landscape, describe your legal structure, reimagine your strategies for marketing and selling to your customers. And then by all means, let's just keep pushing, and you and your business are worth the investment. We know that, because if you're still surviving today past the pandemic, we know that you have something valuable to offer to your customers and to your community. So we want you to succeed. We want you to be thriving from here on out. We don't want to be in a position that we were in or felt we were in on March 8th when everything shut down, and potentially could be shutting down again soon. So with that, are there any questions?
Crystal, somebody has their hand raised, but before they do that, I wanted to say something.
Go right
But
ahead.
for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm Gilbert Buchanan. I'm the director of the Entrepreneurship Center, and we would like to have all of you, those of you who have already registered and enrolled in our program. We're going to reach out to you again, and the ones who have not yet register enrolled in our program, please do so ASAP, because Crystal mentioned earlier about getting loan ready. We have an assessment that we're going to do with all of you to make sure you're loan ready. I don't know if you guys have a way of figuring out whether you're loan ready or not, but I really, really want to go ahead and get you all loan ready, so you know what you need to have, what you already have, and how to put that together. So should Chase reach out to you guys and say, hey, you guys have been a part of the Los Angeles Urban League program, I want to reach out to you to see how loan ready you are, then you guys will be ready. So keep that in mind. All of you guys, we want to reach out to you. Now, Crystal, I think David Brown had a question.
Yes, David Brown. Thank
So
you. You're welcome, David.
No, I didn't have a specific question. I just wanted to thank Gilbert and yourself for a really great presentation. And it just really inspires me to go back and take a look at, what I have in place in my current business plan and see how I can update it. So I appreciate that.
Oh, good. That's it.
Thank-
And we all
thank
should
you.
go back and look at, and as I said, go back and review. It doesn't hurt. It can only make it better, right?
And-
Thank you, Donna.
And the one thing I want to put out there, I want you guys to think of us this way. Crystal, myself, and the other team members, think of us this way. You have a bunch of coaches on your team that can help you. These coaches are going to guide you through the process. Many basketball or baseball players, they cannot make it in the league without having a great coach, right? So that's what you guys have in us. We're an excellent coach. We're excellent coaches, and we can guide you guys to the promised land. So make sure that we get to assess your business, make sure your business ready, your loan ready, and your contract ready. So not only will we assess your business and help you with loan access to loans, but also if you want to get certified, we can assist you guys as well. So keep that in mind. This is the first of many workshop sessions.
All righty. And I'm putting in the chat room, Gilbert and I would love for you guys to go over to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. There is 5 years archives of all kinds of class and sessions, great guests. And if you're interested in being a guest on the show, you can reach out to me at this number and fill out. This is my virtual assistant right here. You can call and say that you want to be a guest, and also it will on the show. We would love to have you to highlight yourself and your business. Best thing that you could actually do is to always make sure you got a lot of digital content out there, and people will know that you are a subject matter expert in your area of expertise. So tune into the Business Zone, and also on the community briefing, we stream live on Facebook every Thursday, tomorrow actually. Community briefings on Thursday, on streaming live on Facebook. And if you want to participate, it's actually a Zoom meeting, then reach out to me. You also can go to that same number and, oh, am I not doing it to the attendees? What's happening here? Yeah, host and no. Oh, I don't have, Michael, I don't have access to do the chat to the peoples.
Chat to the peoples?
Yeah, to the peoples. I'm only doing it to you and Gilbert. I want to get to the peoples, Michael.
That's hilarious. I love it.
It says host and panelists. It doesn't say host and attendees.
Do you see an option for everyone?
No, it doesn't. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. So let me do that. I'm like, wait a minute, where is it? Okay, so there you go, everyone, to the peoples. Any question anyone has, any comments? Hope you guys find this of value. Mike is going to send you out the hand workbook, look through it. You know, so there's some great information. And if you're coming back next Thursday, next Wednesday, is it Wednesday? Wednesday on the 11th, Bonnie?
No, it's actually on the 18th. Next week, we're doing a B-Warp.
Okay,
So come back for BWAP, but also return for this series on the 18th and the 25th. You will get another reminder.
That's right.
okay. And come back, and I want you guys to share with me. I am a tool junkie, so I want you guys to share with me what tools you're using, and if I'm not using it, I probably will adapt it into my world. That's just who I am. So, all righty, guys. Let me put this last here streaming live on Facebook. So if you guys are interested, you can go to that phone number 213, and you can request a copy of the show, of either show. And if you want to be a guest on the shows, then just let us know. So there you go. So with that, guys, we want to thank you so much for participating. I think there is a Q&A. There's a question in the Q&A. So let me get that. Hi, I just tuned in 30 minutes ago. My question is, where do I find the workbook? So Cameron, Mr. Mike Rodriguez is going to email it over to you. So we'll see you guys on the 18th. And in between that, I think there's another event on the 11th. So make sure you attend it. Did you guys put your contact information so we can network before we leave?
Yeah, we need to. We need to do some networking, guys. I'm putting my email address in here. So I'd like to hear from you guys.
There we go.
Go ahead and send me an email, because I want to get you guys loan ready. We want to do that assessment to get you loan ready so you can be ready for Chase Bank when they decide to reach out to you guys and help you with lines of credits or loans. Okay. So here is my email in the chat, Gilbert Buchanan, gilbert.buchanan@laul.org. Send me an email so we can set up that assessment ASAP. Okay, guys?
And so that we all have access to your contact. If you are not registered, I put the intake form in the chat box for you to complete your registration so that we can keep you abreast of what we're doing, all the different workshops.
Good.
Connect with me on LinkedIn and Mr. Buchanan on LinkedIn. Follow the Urban League on Facebook.
Yeah.
As well as other social media.
And Instagram and other social media as well. Let's all connect, guys. Make our community a better community by using our resources and supporting one another. So appreciate. Charles, how are we gonna find you? We just gonna call out Charles Pierce, and your email gonna pop out to me. And Donna.
Oh, is this Donna Murray? Is this the Donna Murray? Donna, please put your email in here.
All righty, there you go, Charles.
Oh, Shauna Charles. Hey, Shauna, how you doing?
All righty, there we go. So guys, if you don't know how, just click those three little buttons on the right-hand side and it says save the chat, and that way you have everybody's information.
Oh, that's how we do that, Crystal?
That's how you do that.
Oh man, see, I learned something. Yeah.
So it doesn't appear to be available.
It's not available.
Oh, wow.
Wow. What's going on here?
So Mike, can make sure that that's available, because that's a valuable asset.
Yeah. Hey,
so I saved it. So I'll send the email to everyone.
Michael, did you want to add something? Mr. Michael?
No, I think we're all good. Everyone should expect to receive the workbook as well as the presentation slides that Crystal went over.
Yeah.
And also we can include contact information for Gilbert, Crystal, and the rest of the entrepreneurship team.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well,
All right. This is
all
good.
right, guys. So we will see you at the next one.
Yep.
Have a great weekend. Be safe. We're still in a pandemic. Mask up, social distance, and encourage your friends to get a vaccination if they haven't got one, so we can create some herd immunity. All right, guys, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much on behalf of the Los Angeles Urban League. We so appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. All right, Mike, we out.
Good job, Crystal. Good job, Mike, Bonnie, Rhonda, everybody. Good job.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.